Yeah, we are live. Brilliant. Now, how do you, as a working mum, keep track of everything that's going on? It can be really difficult. Sometimes, you've got to work out where all the children are going, where your partner's going, where you've got to go, what needs doing around the house, all the grocery shopping needs doing, all the cleaning needs doing, or this needs doing, or that needs doing. And then you get an email from school and they're running a raffle or something like that, and you need to try and find a prize for it. And then, oh, we've got harvest coming up in a couple of weeks and everyone's got to take in something. There's all these things going on inside your head all the time. And unless you can actually budget your time and budget your finances, obviously, and somehow get it down on paper, get it onto a planner, get it onto something so that you know where you're supposed to be, when, what you're supposed to be doing, any, known upcoming expenses. All of this thing can be completely overwhelming if you don't plan. And one of the easiest ways of doing that is with a family diary, be it a board on the fridge, be it an actual physical diary, because sometimes the actual fact of writing it all down is very therapeutic, and it sort of sets it in stone in your head then as well. Or it could be something as simple as an actual app on your phone. So we have one called 𝗪𝗂𝗃 that we use for the family. Andy has access to it as well, so we can both have access. We have things set up for each of the boys. We've got one set up for the cats. We've got everything in there. So all of my appointments feed through showing that I'm busy. And then we've got when Andy's at work, when the boys are at school, and with William's hours changing on almost a daily basis at the moment, that's actually really handy because I then know when I've got to pick him up, when I've got to drop him off, and all sorts. And, when things get more complicated, like when you get the, oh, can you please, there's a party going on or something, can you drop them off at 9:30, but could you pick this one up then, because they're going to need a nap, and then pick the other one up later, and all of this, and you're trying to juggle all of that as well as working, either being employed, self-employed, being a stay-at-home mum, whatever you're doing, there is like a minimum of 10 different spinning plates that you're also trying to juggle at the same time. So getting it all down on paper is really going to help you. It's really going to give you that clear route, that clear roadmap of what's going on, what you need to be doing at this moment in time, what do you need to be planning for in the future, because most of us mums, we do plan about 10 steps ahead. Who have I got to finagle around to make sure that everyone gets where they need to be at the right time, not half an hour late, but actually when they're supposed to be there. And yes, the best way of doing that is by planning. Planning that way also allows you to budget. So it allows you to know the boiler service is coming up, the car tax is due, and all the varying insurances are due. If you get all of that in there, I mean, you could create a person called House or Home or whatever you want to call it to record all of these things in there, so when there's big expenses coming up. And that helps you plan, that helps you budget, that helps you know, right, so I've got my home insurance coming up, it's going to be 300 quid. Okay, right, I now know I need to put away, so much a month for that. Or am I going to go onto a payment plan, but then they're going to charge me interest? So no, I'll do this and I'll do that. And it's all these thoughts that we have going through our head that we need to just get it down, either on paper, as I said, on the app, on a board. We use boards on the fridge. We have varying boards. We have a monthly board, which is a very, like top view of what we're doing. In fact, I think there's only half a dozen things on it at the most. We then have a plain board, A4 one this time. The monthly one's A3, that we have all the jobs that we need to do on it because of bits around the house that need doing. We've then got a menu planner for the week, which I normally fill in on a Sunday for Monday. For the whole week coming up, so I can do my shopping at the weekend, so I know I've got everything in. And then we have a big A3 one for the week. And on there, I can track everybody's movements, who's going where, when, you know, who, you know, Andy, when you get back from work tonight, you've got to pick George up from nursery, or, you know, can you drop William off at Izzy's on the way, or whoever it is. You know, there's loads of different things that we have to do to keep on top of everything. So just by planning, just by thinking ahead, and just by giving yourself that break and that moment in time to plan, to think about what's happening, be it for a week, be it if you just need to plan out tomorrow. If, you know, planning out a week seems too much, just plan out tomorrow, do it a day at a time. Sit there this evening and plan out what you need to do. And then gradually you can add to it. You can, as something comes up, you can add it in for a year's time when it's going to renew for the insurances. Or you can, you know, pop notes in there as to, oh yes, we've got a party coming up then, and oh yes, we've got, you know, the plumbers coming around, or the electrician, or whatever it is that's going on. You make sure it's all noted down so you know where you need to be when. You don't double book yourself. You're not gonna add any extra stress into your life, because you will actually already know where you're supposed to be. You already know all the expenses you can that are coming up, so you can allow for that. And with the cost of living crisis, we all need to make sure that we can cover everything. You know, it can be very tight at times, especially if you're freelancing and your income goes down a bit. You have to be really careful at planning and budgeting and looking ahead and making sure you're putting enough money away, making sure you're covering all of the bases, and that you're stretching your income as far as it can go. So on next Tuesday, 26th, I am doing a webinar on Cash is Queen, mastering your budget and cash flow as a working mum. And that is for any working mums, whether you are a stay-at-home mum, whether you've just got a side hustle, whether you're employed, self-employed, freelance, whatever you want to call it. There will be hints and tips in there. It's very much aimed at your household budget, because it all works the same way. If you don't know how to keep track of your money and budget, that's when the problems occur. So comment below and I will send you over a link to register for the webinar. It will be amazing, and it's just going to give you that opportunity to get back in control of everything and actually know, yes, we can go and do that, and yes, we've saved up for a holiday, and all of those little things that when you've got a family are really important. So have a great evening. Remember, plan your day tomorrow at the very least, so you know who's got to be where when, and I will see you again in the morning. Bye everyone.